Ken Trahan, Lenny Vangilder, SportsNola.com. It's our first NBC weekend review, and it's all about the Saints to get things started. Of course, we thought the story was back on the field because they finally got back on the field and played a game after a great Hall of Fame weekend in Canton. And then, of course, during the game, or late in the game and late Sunday night, the story coming out in reference to the commissioner throwing an olive branch to Jonathan Vilma, which superseded everything and brought us right back to square one with this whole situation. Lenny, this is really strange, and it strikes me very strange considering how hard and fast this commissioner has been on this issue.
Well, I think you brought up a great point this morning in your piece online, is that it comes down to this. If this thing ends up in a court of law, Roger Goodell is going to have to reveal way more than he wants to. And if he's got a chance to settle this civil suit out of court, and it means he's got to give back something in return for that, this may be what this is all about. Now, the NFL is denying this morning that any kind of settlement is in play. It's not to say that something wouldn't happen. They're not saying that. But at least they've come out and issued some sort of denial.
Well, we'll see if the truth is there, if it's somewhere in between or otherwise. But certainly sources come to pass. And for those that aren't aware, and I'm sure most of you are, when you read stories, oftentimes you'll read sources tell such and such. And that's because you don't want to compromise the anonymous source who gave you the information in the first place, and understandably so. The other part of this is very simply this. If you backtrack and you start to relent, if you're the NFL, given how firm a stance you took on this, does that open Pandora's box with regard to the others?
Absolutely. I think it could be all four of them that see penalties reduced if that indeed happens. You can't, if you pull back on one, then what's to say that you're not going to do it on the others? They're going to go, kicking and screaming and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, how about you lessen my sentence as well?" So and. What about Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis, Joe Vitt, Greg Williams? What about them? What do you do there? So
no players association behind them. That's one big thing, but it's still a real possibility. And the tea leaves are out there, and I think the league can read and hear what Judge Berrigan has said previously. She was somewhat sympathetic to Vilma, expressed that, in fact, and questioned the power of the league to some degree. Maybe that supersedes what's going to happen eventually. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does indicate that she plans on giving a hometown ruling. I don't know. Bottom line is, this stuff's back in the news for better or for worse. Again, it kind of detracts from the game. And oh, by the way, there was a game. Drew Brees, one series touchdown, went right down the field. Running backs did a good job. Wide receiver competition, interesting. Tyron Walker looked good. Martez Wilson looked great. Lofton played well. It's a preseason game. So what? Nobody really got hurt.
It's a preseason game. Nobody got hurt. I guess the one, Adrian Arrington, what was up with that? We were all looking for him. Yeah. We were looking to see something out of him last night, and he's ruled out at the last minute with a knee injury. So it's still some guys you want to see out there, want to see perform better. But, Drew Brees, for not being here all offseason, that number one offense didn't miss a beat. So.
No, they really didn't. Zephyrs, by the way, they were playing great, and then they went and got waxed over at Salt Lake, unfortunately, after being 9 games over. So they come back to the pack a little bit. Hopefully they'll rebound from that. Lost in Tacoma again last night as well. So hopefully they'll rebound. And then Arena Bowl 25 is set for this coming Friday night. And really the two best teams, Philadelphia from the American Conference and Arizona from the National Conference. They were the two best teams all year long, and they're coming to New Orleans.
Exactly. They'll be here, in fact, tomorrow, I believe, all week. It's kind of like a Super Bowl week in a smaller version. And, activities starting tomorrow, media day on Wednesday, all building up to a late Friday night kickoff, 9:30. So make sure you get a nap in, I guess, during the day or whatever, and come on out to the arena and support another championship event coming to our city.
Yep, media days. Speaking of those, LSU has one Tuesday, Tulane on Wednesday. It's that time of the year. We're getting closer and closer to football, real football, and we certainly look forward to it.
Absolutely.
All right, there is our first NBC weekend review. We hope you've enjoyed that. Of course, go to SportsNola.com for every ounce of information you could ever want about the Saints, LSU, Tulane, the Hornets, prep sports, including all of our prep previews, and they keep rolling on in. Lenny, thanks.
Good to see you. See you later this week.
All right, have a great week, folks. For First NBC Bank, Ken Trahan for Lenny Vangilder. God bless. Have a great day.